Welcome to your Soccer Down Here 1v1 every other week during the USL League One season. Time to catch up with Chris Ashley of YTSS the Podcast, GVLsoccer.com. And so, how was your birthday?
Well, it was pretty good, John. Actual birthday day, got to see a surprising result in Richmond that clinched home field advantage. So that was definitely a much needed birthday present. The birthday party at Legacy early on Saturday, ups and downs. Ups positive. Got my Dallas J bobblehead on.
There
got
you
to
go.
got to see some. Got to see a great turnout for that match and a lot of excitement building towards the final. Obviously, not the result you wanted in that match in particular, but man, you couldn't ask for three better goals to watch because that was this is the hashtag bangers only league with USL League One, and all three of those goals were just incredible.
So for those that weren't able to catch it on the plus or haven't had the chance to look back at it, go through Bangers R Us for us. What did you see?
Yeah, so the first goal, Omaha scored, I think, somewhere around the 20th minute. Again, all three goals coming from outside the 18-yard box. That goal was over on the left side, just a curler in to the far post. It clinks off the post. I turned and looked at the people standing next to me. I said, absolutely zero that Dallas J can do about that. You're gonna take a shot from outside the box and just dink it off the woodwork. What you can't do that. So, that was kind of like that stinks. And this was a game where Greenville going in, like, they literally had nothing to play for. I wasn't sure if we'd see squad rotation. We really didn't see that. But again, I think the guys knew the circumstances. They knew the situation. I don't know if that's an exhale type game or what, but you see that happen. Then you see Pilato there in the first half getting a great goal. And again, another bangers only score from outside the box. And then early in the second half there, again, Omaha getting another. Just what are you going to do, Dallas J? Put it in the upper 90 from outside the box. Again, these goals were just – I felt bad for the keepers. They both played really well. The game was pretty evenly matched. It has changed my opinion on who I want to see in the final. So we can get into those scenarios and talk about that. But, it was a good match. Disappointing to lose there, but again, had nothing really to gain from winning or losing other than affecting who you're going to play.
So, okay, I'll go ahead and bite. How did this affect your opinion about who that you want to have come to Legacy early for the last game of the year?
Yeah, well, I mean, John, when we talked about it last week, we talked about North Texas, Richmond, Omaha, and Chattanooga with a little bit of an outside shot at making it. But I was well on the train of, like, Omaha, that's the team I want to see. That's Oma draw. They don't really scare me a ton. And I'm not scared or worried about any of these teams, but I will tell you, based on the way the end of this season has gone, bring the kickers to Greenville because they have been atrocious. They have not looked like a team who wants to make the final. They are in the driver's seat, though. They all they have to do is win, and they're in. They're controlling their own destiny at this point. We can talk about that too. The situation is like this: Richmond and Omaha even on points. Richmond has the advantage on wins. So all they got to do is equal or better Omaha, and they're in. Omaha needs some help. They need Richmond to drop points, and then they need to exceed those points. And North Texas needs both of those teams to lose, and then they would have to win in order to get in. So it's a real outside shot for them. All three of those teams have home games this weekend. Richmond probably with the hardest home game against Chattanooga, although Chattanooga is another team that I think has kind of fumbled the football going down towards the final, having an opportunity to make it too. So, I mean, I don't know. It really, at this point, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be Richmond or I kind of towards Richmond, thinking that they're going to do what needs to be done at home against Chattanooga, but wouldn't be shocked to see that go another way either.
All right, so here's the rundown of the schedule for the last weekend of the year. Orlando and Greenville, OCB, and their last match in USL League One takes on Greenville. That is a 1 o'clock start on the 24th. Richmond and Chattanooga is at 6:30. two 8 o'clockers. It is Madtown and New 2 after their midweek drubbing 4-0 to Tormenta. Omaha and Fort Lauderdale and North Texas and Tormenta are at 8:30 on the 24th. So when you look at those 5 matches for the 24th, other than what we talked about, what else do you see?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Greenville plays at 1 o'clock. Again, a match that doesn't matter. They should go down and get 3 points. I would not be surprised to see a good bit of squad rotation in this one. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see that not everybody travels for this match. It's going to be Orlando's last game in League One, so it'll be an arrivederci to them. Hopefully sending them out on their backs with a big L. But the game to watch there is the Richmond game, Richmond and Chattanooga at 6 o'clock. That game is going to finish up just right before Omaha kicks off. So Omaha will know the stakes. They'll know if they have a chance. And if Richmond drops points, ooh, buddy, is that Omaha game going to be must watch, because they are going to be going after it. And I think it's going to be a good day of soccer, a good day to sit down and kind of catch some matches. And, maybe if League One's not your first priority, you might at least have it have the scores up on FootMob or have the ticker going to keep in touch with what's going on in the live standings there.
When you look at everything else going on, I mean, I think that you've pretty much determined the only way to beat Dallas J is to just put it in a place where there's no way he can touch it. And so you're hoping that that's just something that happened with Omaha and not something that folks are going to sit there and look at tape and go, ooh, let's try to put it in the upper corner of the upper 90 to make sure Dallas can't touch it to where we can get something in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, I told people on Sunday at the game, like, if we're forcing teams to have to take shots from outside the box as the only chances they have, I'm okay with that. Like, that's granted, 2 of these were crazy and went in, but if teams are having to take chances from that far out because they're not able to penetrate and get good offensive attacks, like, I'm good with that. I feel like the defense is doing a good job. Now, I wish, especially on that first one, you had a little more pressure applied so that maybe he doesn't get that shot off. But again, you can't do everything 100% all the time. And the big thing is Greenville, Omaha was able to shut Greenville out of the 18-yard box too, and kind of keep them from getting good quality chances. So that's the thing we've got to work on is making sure we're finding the back of the net. And from there, I feel confident in our defense and Dallas J to get some good stops.
All right. So as you're kind of an impassioned observer heading into this last weekend of the regular season, let me just go over Team of the Week for you. And you had a couple of folks from Omaha, Rashid Nuhu between the sticks. Faraday Sosa is on the back line. Evan Conway, who scored one of the goals in your match, is up top. Paulo Jr. from Madtown, Josh Cohn from Tucson, Charlie Dennis from Tucson, Arturo Rodriguez, Christian Molina also from Omaha is a part of it, and Jordan Skelton and Neil Vigneals from Tormenta, Samuel Biek also from Tucson. So that was Team of the Week from Week 14 heading into what we're getting into now. And I think that you look at what happened midweek. I know that it's been a bit of a long slog this season for Tormenta, but the fact that they were able to finally shake the shackles off and put 4 on New England Revolution in 2, I think that it gives them stuff to look forward to for the last weekend and beyond.
Yeah, and the craziest thing about Tormenta's last couple of matches, Josh Phelps, the renowned center back who has given Greenville fits, has been playing striker for some inexplicable reason, has been causing problems up top. That's been interesting. But, Tormenta's a team that both last year and this year, maybe even more so than last year, they've struggled with injuries. They've struggled with being able to field 18 guys. I mean, I think there was a match early in the season. They only had like 14 people total on their roster. And so, it's Tormenta. We have this budding rivalry with them. And it's a friendly rivalry, I would say. And they're a team that I think for Greenville fans, like, we want them to do well. You want to have a rival that is, that's going to make it fun and make it even and equal. And so I want them to do well. I think there's a lot to be proud of for them. I think they have a lot of really shining pieces. It's just keeping guys healthy and putting all that together for a full season. But yeah, I don't think Tormenta fans should have too much to be concerned about with that team going towards next year. But yeah, I mean, you talk about the team of the week. I think somebody texted me, is this the first week this year that Greenville has not had someone on the team of the week? And I think that's actually true.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's the case. I will say Nuhu being the goalkeeper on team of the week is a little ridiculous because I was standing behind him the whole match. He didn't have to do much. So I don't know if you get keeper of the week, team of the week honors for not having to make many saves, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose.
All right. And then one piece of news that I wanted to throw by you this week, since we're talking USL League One, news out of Corpus Christi, Texas, that it looks like an investment group is looking to bring League One to Corpus Christi. There are plans for a $17 million sports complex and a 5-year incentive agreement with the city. So Corpus Christi now gets to be added on your radar as a possible add to League One.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. I think anytime this league is growing, it's obviously beneficial for every team in the league. But I think particularly, and we've talked about this, the Western Conference, they need some, poor Tucson, they need somebody that's not a crazy, ridiculous flight to get to. So, I think Corpus Christi is a good location. I think those are the kinds of cities that this league should be built on. I don't think I think North Texas is fine to have a team, but we don't need teams in Dallas and New York and Boston. We need teams in the Greenvilles, in the Statesboroughs, in the Chattanoogas, some of these smaller towns that, have a passion for soccer and have an economy and a population that can support a professional team, but maybe wouldn't have a chance to get into an MLS or even a USL championship market. So I think it's great. It's awesome. I've heard a couple rumblings about what the league structure would potentially look like next year with USL as a whole. I won't drop any specific details here.
Oh, come on.
It's just rumor and innuendo at this point, but you got teams dropping out. So I don't know if USL League One's going to announce any expansion teams for next season, or if this is a move for 2022, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, again, normally by this time in the year, we're thinking we probably already know a team or two that's coming in. And so having not heard any official announcements, it makes me a little nervous about next year. And cause we don't know if Toronto's going to be able to jump back in next year with COVID stuff. So we could be looking at a smaller, more back to year one numbers league.
Well, and we've heard, I know DeMarcus Beasley's looking at Fort Wayne. I think there's plans for a team in New Hampshire, I think for 2022. And to add this one, Corpus Christi FC, currently a member of League Two, finished second in 2019 in the Mid-South Division. So to your point, I think that you're looking at adding a Fort Wayne, looking at adding New Hampshire, looking at adding Corpus Christi, those markets that you were talking about.
Yeah, and again, I think probably you would have seen some of those teams coming in for next year before the coronavirus stuff has really affected a lot of these plans, a lot of these teams, a lot of these potential investors. I mean, who knows how much their other businesses are performing. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what next year is going to look like, and hopefully, we've only got a week left in this season, so hopefully in the next month or so we should know something. I would.
Subtle plug to GV.
Yeah, we're getting geared up for championship week, so I've got some stuff in the plans. Definitely going to have a podcast out next week. Going to do something a little bit different. My podcast host platform has a new endeavor they're venturing into. I'm going to do a Triumph Championship radio playlist that will be. We're going to take a little bit of thunder from Jason and Mike's post. To a song from an artist from each city represented in USL League One, and then we'll have some good Greenville tunes to round it out and head into the championship. Working on a hype video for next week, and I am frantically at work on a gigantic tifo that will be unfurled before the championship match next Friday night.
All right. So for those that want to keep an ear and an eye on what's going on, how do they do it?
Yep, you can follow the podcast at YTSS Podcast on Twitter. You can go to the website at gvlsoccer.com. You can follow me at GVL Soccer Guy.
What he said. Oh, and what did you want to talk to me? What was it about my diet or my my food intake? What was your thought pattern there?
You need more salt, John. That's the truth of it. You need more salt.
Chris Ashley hanging out for a 1v1 as he's getting ready for the last week of the regular season in USL League One and also getting ready for championship week heading to Greenville. Chris, we will catch up with you next week. We know it'll be a busy one. We'll be definitely keeping an eye on what's going on with the Triumph.
Sounds good, John. We'll talk to you next week.